Historical tensions linger between Seoul and Tokyo over the recent memorial service at the former Sado mines in Japan for victims of wartime forced labor. Our foreign affairs correspondent Bae Eun-ji is here in the studio to take a look at what this could signify for the recent efforts by the two neighbors to mend ties. Welcome, Eun-ji.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, give us an overall explanation about the mines and the controversy surrounding them.
Sure. So the former gold mines located on Sado Island, that's off Japan, have long been at the center of historical tensions between Seoul and Tokyo. This is because at least 1,500 Koreans were forced to work there under harsh conditions during Japan's colonial rule from 1910 to 1945. Despite strong protests, Japan managed to register the mines as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in July, after Seoul accepted Tokyo's promise to reflect the mines' full history, including the abuse of Korean laborers. Japan then promised to hold memorial services there annually to remember all those who were forced to work at the Sado Island gold mines. After months of negotiations, the two countries agreed to hold their first such memorial on Sunday, before South Korea suddenly announced that it was boycotting the event. Japan went on to hold the event despite South Korea's last-minute boycott, but made no mention of how Koreans were forced to work under such brutal conditions, and did not issue an apology.
These laborers from the Korean peninsula, although they were in a unique social situation due to the war, worked under dangerous and harsh conditions in the mines here, far from their homeland, while thinking of their beloved families.
And there was public criticism in South Korea that the Korean government had responded passively to the matter. South Korea's foreign minister addressed these concerns and vowed to take full responsibility.
Our government will continue to raise this issue at the World Heritage Committee as a matter concerning the implementation of the agreements.
Now, Japanese media has raised the possibility of Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba visiting South Korea in January. If he were to visit, could this become a chance to somehow resolve tensions?
Well, the South Korean government says nothing has been decided yet with regards to whether President Yoon Suk-yeol could possibly hold a summit with Prime Minister Ishiba. But even if the summit does take place, experts who I've talked to have said the historical issues will likely remain for the time being. This is mainly because of Ishiba's lack of political and public support after the ruling Liberal Democratic Party lost its majority in the recent parliamentary election, which is seen as its worst result in over a decade.
Prime Minister Ishiba will likely keep his stance. He won't aggravate the situation, but I don't think we can expect him to make comments that will dramatically resolve the issue.
Dr. Choi said if Ishiba visits Seoul and holds a summit with President Yoon, they're likely to address certain situations, such as the start of the second Trump administration next year and threats from North Korea. But she said if they don't bring up the historical issues during their meeting, public distrust toward Japan is likely to persist. This means even if South Korean and Japanese governments agree to move forward, it will be hard to view that as a meaningful bilateral cooperation.
Eun-ji, where would bilateral cooperation stand given the geopolitical risks?
Well, the two countries mark 60 years of their diplomatic relations next year, and pundits say that the two countries are in a situation where they have no choice but to work together. Let's take a listen.
Considering the geopolitical factors and the need for South Korea and Japan to cooperate, especially ahead of Trump's second term, it's unlikely that either side would want a regression in their relationship over historical issues. This concept is shared not only by the South Korean government, but also by the Japanese government. So I think both sides are compelled to coordinate on this issue strategically.
So it seems pretty clear that the two countries both feel the need to forge positive ties. But resolving this long-standing issue over wartime forced labor remains a very, very difficult task.
All right, Eun-ji, thanks for the wrap-up.
Thank you.